I'm afraid we're looking at 2008 straight in the eye again. Look at what happened to Silicon Valley Bank. Remember what President Trump says. You go woke, you are a loser. You know what else he said? You go woke, you go broke. That's exactly what happened to Silicon Valley Bank.
Hi, it's Alonzo Bodden with another Rebel HQ TYT video. And guess what, folks? It was the woke mob. That's right. That's why Silicon Valley Bank went under. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump rolling back the dodd-frank regulations. Well, of course it did. Now, this guy, Grant Stinchfield, whatever, believe it or not, I like this guy. Because in the first 5 seconds, he summed up exactly what went wrong. Yes, it is 2008 again. You remember 2008 when a Republican president named Bush had rolled back all the banking regulations and the banks started going under. And that was just a repeat of what Reagan did when he rolled back all the banking regulations and the savings and loans went under. You see, I don't even blame the bankers. They can't help themselves. They're crooks. They have to do it. That's why they should be regulated. Take away those rules and crooks are gonna crook. And that's what the bankers did. But there was one man who had someone else to blame. That's right. There's no one better at not taking responsibility than good old Donald Trump.
I think it's important for people to understand how this potential banking crisis happened. It's not because there aren't enough bank regulators, as Biden is trying to say. It's because of the massive inflation and the trillions and trillions of dollars of borrowing that the federal government has done that has put our financial system, Harris, in great jeopardy, in great peril. You can't just keep doing this month after month after month, year after year, borrowing trillions and trillions of dollars.
Here we go again with the right-wing fantasy that Trump is a brilliant businessman. He is brilliant. Only 5 bankruptcies. The man bankrupted casinos. How do you lose money running a casino? The house always wins, except when Trump is running the house. The man, the great American businessman, who was bailed out by Chinese and other foreign banks. But they hang on to this fantasy. Listen, the only thing Donald Trump is good at is calling people names. Right, Grant? You've got a T-shirt where he called people names. And he made money selling you that T-shirt, and I'm betting it was made in China. No, the Silicon Valley Bank screwed up. They were built on tech. Starting in 1983, they grew to be a huge bank. They had a ton of cash on hand. They used it to lobby the government to remove regulations so they could gamble with the cash. They gambled and they lost. That's not woke. Yeah, they invested some green energy, but that's not what did it. Grant, pay attention. It's not the woke mob. Or maybe it is. Keep talking.
They were at the forefront of this equity, diversity, and inclusion nonsense where they were literally putting woke policies ahead of profits. Oh, what else did they practice? Environmental, social governance. What were they doing? They were putting politics over profits.
Woke. It must be woke. It's woke. Woke is the boogeyman to these old white men. It scares the hell out of them. And here's a really scary thought. This guy, Grant, he's not even the worst one. No, there's a guy named Andy Kessler from the Wall Street Journal, and he says, well, it could have been the deregulation, but because of diversity, the Silicon Valley Bank had, get this, LGBTQ people on the board. They had women on the board. They had 2 veterans, who I thought were the good guys, but apparently not, on the board. They even had a black person on the board. That could be what brought him under. He's not saying it did, but he's saying it could have been. Yeah, he said, well, I'm not saying that if it were 12 white men on the board, that's how bad it is. That's how scared they are. I bet the LGBTQ members and the black guy didn't get any of that bonus money that they took right before the bank went under. I'm just saying. Hey, here's an idea. This bank would have been okay if they just would have complied with the regulators. Does that sound familiar? Doesn't sound too woke. But it's the woke mob. Just watch. He'll explain.
Put your shareholders first. You do that, that means you'll also put your customers first, because the shareholders won't make money if you're not taking care of your customers. Stop bowing to the woke mob. You bow to the woke mob, you will be a loser. You bow to the woke mob, you will go broke. And now, thanks to Joe Biden and the Democrats and this woke nonsense, our economy is on the verge of complete destruction. Thanks, Joe Biden.
Yeah, Grant, that was it. It was the woke mob. It was all part of their plot. See, they said, let's distract them by having the drag queens groom the children. Then while they're watching the schools, we'll bankrupt the banks. Yeah, that's the plot. No, Grant. No, Grant. The plot is to plunder the banks and take all the money, okay? You talk about shareholders. You talk about customers. These companies don't care about customers. These banks don't care about customers. These banks care about making as much money as they can and then giving themselves huge bonuses and then letting us clean up again. That's how they do it, and that's what they've done. This has nothing to do with Joe Biden. There's been 500,000 jobs added to the economy. The economy's growing slow, inflation, problem, but the economy's not the problem, okay? This bank went under because this bank gambled and lost. Well, actually, the board members won because they lobbied Trump. The regulations were removed. The bankers got a bank. That's all I'm going to say. Bankers got a bank. Crooks got a crook. Bankers got a bank. And that's what they did. And now they've gone under. And once again, we're bailing them out.